Alright guys, upper mid tier. These are the characters that for the most part can be argued as high tier, except they have one huge flaw holding them back a lot of times. And for a lot of these characters, this is actually gonna be their mobility. So Robin, let's start with him. A lot of these characters with poor mobility, the issue is fast characters can kind of run in and out, beta attacks, and punish. And if they get on top of these characters, they lack ways to escape the pressure in the combos because they're too slow. And then a lot of times with these characters, like Robin, get outzoned. They have trouble approaching because they're too slow. They get like outspaced by like sword hitboxes. They have trouble approaching because they're too slow. Robin is like the poster child of, hey, you're too slow, so you can't deal with a lot of buttons at a lot of ranges. Good luck. With that said, Robin does hit very hard, and the projectile game is nice for him. His sword aerial is very nice. Like, he has really strong buttons. His ledge trapping is dummy good. And item gameplay he has with his books and his 11 sword is really strong. I will say though that the item system holds him back, because what happens a lot of times is that like you lose a sword or a tome, and that part of your neutral is now gone, and that can be exploited really hard. So because he has very clear areas where it's like, I am weak, and then he's too slow to escape people exploiting that and rushing him down, the character is like barely upper mid tier, a little bit too exploitable. Now Rifa Trainer is a character that honestly just held back by hitboxes. Hitboxes and the fact that she doesn't have enough, like, she has some cheese with like deep breathing being busted, and then her neutral is a really nice charge projectile, but it's so hard for her to hit people sometimes. She doesn't have like spacing tools on the ground with her tilts. Her aerials are like pretty committal because they're so low range, you have to jump at people, meaning she can easily be swatted if someone's reacting to it. I think Cyber is a cool little mechanic she has where she can like set up the ball and like pressure people with it, but it's not great. It's just like there as a thing, which is cool and all, but it's not enough in my opinion. She's fast though, she hits hard, she's good combos. She can be hard to approach as well, which is very nice. Like, honestly, she's super carried by her speed, I'd say. But hey, it's not a bad thing to be carried by. Byleth is a character that mobility once again, right? Actually, absurdly good buttons overall. Like, hits pretty hard. Nair is a really good move, and then forward air and back air are great compliments for it. And then, like, almost all the characters' buttons are good. Up tilt, up air, forward tilt, dash attack, down tilt. Even like down air, down smash, and forward smash all can be used to catch people off guard and like cheese out stocks really early. So you have a character with these consistently extremely good buttons, only held back by like just being too slow. So Byleth has to play the opponent's gameplay a lot of times, and that's a problem. And also recovery can be sus because of the tether. Depends on the matchup. Some characters can go off stage and exploit it, some characters can't. Belmont's using Richter here because he's cooler. Sorry, Simon players. Yeah, so for Richter, this is a character where it's just, this character is really good in some matchups and really bad in others, right? He's a very polarizing counterpick character. Not as polarizing as people expect when the game first came out, but still destroys some characters and gets destroyed by others. And it's mobility issues once again, right? Too slow. He has enough walling tools to keep out even fast characters, along with things like up B to kind of contest people pressing too many buttons. He like can keep them out, can contest too much mashing, but his disadvantage state is a little bit too exploitable in a lot of cases. And he can't quite exploit his weight as a result of just being pretty easy to edge guard and juggle, and even ledge trap. But hey, there are some characters that can't deal with it, and then it's like, hey, he feels like a top tier. Alright, Ryu, this mobility issues once again. All these characters that are too slow, but he also doesn't have good hitboxes, right? So like, he has trouble approaching, and even when he's close to people, he has to get really close to hit them. And then Hadouken's a not great projectile. It's not awful, but like it's not going to carry the character or anything. And then also a lot of characters have multi-hit and can kind of take advantage of like him trying to focus at disadvantage, so it doesn't really work that well. And honestly, he's carried by the fact that like he's hard to approach because he's so scary up close. Hadouken still can be annoying for some characters that can't like just out projectile him or like challenge it easily. And he is heavyweight. All the turnarounds are really strong mechanic, coming out with like good parries, and he's just actually a defensive monster. It's just the way he plays the game isn't the way Ultimate is played, I feel like. And also his recovery is exploitable. Alright, Ken. So Ken is similar boat. His main thing is he's much faster than Ryu, so he can approach, which is nice. But you can like SDI a lot of his combos to make them not as effective. I actually would say he's a little bit better than Ryu, which is why he's in front of him, but not significantly so. Because he still has the same issues of lackluster recovery, lackluster hitboxes. His projectile is like, his Hadouken is pretty bad, I'd say. Definitely worse than Ryu's. It's not unusable or anything, but it's not that good. I would also say I'd rather have Ryu's side beat like goes through stuff and just kills, as opposed to Ken's, which sets up combos, but you can like avoid them and sometimes it's like wonky from what I understand. Like it doesn't combo reliably or something. Kind of just once again doesn't really play Ultimate the way it's supposed to be played. Really just needs bigger hitboxes. Link. Link is another character with mobility issues, right? Like he's good, but he's just too slow. Like he can't chase people. All the stuff we talked about already, right? He does have projectiles to force approaches, but there's a good amount of projectile characters that can contest his camping, if not out camp him, because his projectiles are slow and not exactly big, except like the bomb explosion. And then a lot of his projectiles force characters that approach to approach him from the air, which is really good. You can force aerial approaches, but then he doesn't have the best anti-airs. Like up tilt is big, but it's very laggy, so if you whiff it, it's bad. Up air doesn't really anti-air that well because it's like right above him, not really above and in front. Forward air doesn't recover above and in front as well, so like he has that kind of blind spot that can be exploited. So characters like Zero Suit or Wario can really just move around freely versus him. Combine that with the fact that he's combo food, doesn't have a good like mash button. His best is like Nair at frame 7. I think his jab's like frame 5 or something as well. And it's like, he does have good hitboxes. He does hit pretty hard. He has a pretty solid combo game. Can kill pretty early. His ledge trapping is dumb. And he can actually exploit his weight because of bomb recovery. So that's all very nice. And honestly, I might be underrating him a bit. But I just feel like his weaknesses hold him back a bit too much. And he can't like take advantage of his strengths because of these blind spots. And because of just poor frame data. And now you have Falco. Falco is a character where it's like no neutral Nancy. This character hits you, absurd damage. Up tilt's a crazy good anti-air. And his massive jump height actually does so much for him, more than people talk about. With that said, I do feel like his lacking of big hitboxes, his recovery being pretty exploitable, him being lightweight, and kind of being reliant on hitting someone and getting combos going hurts him a lot. Because it reminds me a little bit of Mewtwo, where if he gets going, it feels unstoppable. It's gonna be a blow up. But if he gets zoned out, if he can't like find ways to burst people down with like some sort of approach, like kind of just outplaying people neutral, it's a problem. I will say that he's kind of hard to approach between down B, side B, laser, and just kind of his jumps. But that doesn't do enough for him. With that said, he's not particularly exploitable in neutral either, because like I said, it's hard to approach him. And he does have laser to force approaches and poke you out slowly. He does have down B. And like a game going on too long against him is kind of scary, because he eventually gets that one opening. So he's a solid character. He's not amazing. Ike is, yeah, what you think you get, right? Big, hitboxes, okay frame data, but poor frame data, but it's good enough for a sortie. Decent combos, good kill power. Has like hitboxes that are generally just solid in any direction. Up B is really nice, but he's slow. No projectiles. Exploitable recovery and landing game and ledge game. You either outspace people over and over and win off a few interactions because you hit so hard, or you can't quite space people out well enough, get blown up by whatever, and then you're in disadvantage and you die. Alright, Luigi. Luigi is... I hate to say it. And this character also gets cheesed very hard by platform camping if people want to do it, along with super defensive play. Like some characters can't play super passive versus him, they don't have the tools to just lame him out, and that is a problem. But the characters that do can really lame him out. I will say though, that Zaire and Fireball are surprisingly decent spacing tools neutral, and down B as a combo break is really annoying because it forces people to like either drop their combos or risk going for them and getting reversal, which stinks versus Luigi. And then when he has like up B as shield, parry up B is so scary. You can't swing much versus him because of that, along with of course his crazy combo game of grab, and he gets that grabs off like falling aerials sometimes, down tilt. So he's surprisingly better at mid-range than people expect. Really good up close, and really hard to push advantage versus sometimes. So that's all nice. He just gets lamed out too hard, like I said before. Rosa, man, I'm a bit biased towards Rosa, of course, my main, but I think the DLC characters in particular are screwed over. I think she loses hard to Sephiroth and Pyramithra, because sword characters just swing at Luma and kill Luma really easily. And then even Mimin's a problem, because she like has to jump to avoid arms to save Luma, but then you're jumping with a floaty jump as a big character, and that's a problem. And even Steve just helped with the blocks. So like I used to put her as high tier, but the DLC characters kind of power prepped her and gave her a lot more difficult matchups that are very relevant in the game. She's good. Like she has really good neutral with her starbit spacing, all these Luma shenanigans to create crazy pressure. Her ledge trapping and juggling and edge guarding is all phenomenal. But she kind of relies on getting kills in the advantage state. So some characters with good disadvantage states can be hard to kill. She also hits for pretty low damage. Like she has some crazy combos, but if she can't get like those low percent grabs or like those falling nairs going, she's not doing a lot of damage. And even then, it's like just decent damage with her. Like 30 to 50% damage strings generally. Starbits as a projectile, while it's really good, is super low damage, along with a lot of her other neutral like spacing tools. And to the fact that if Luma dies, she's just garbage for like 7 seconds or something like that. I forget how much it is, honestly. It's like 8 seconds in ultimate. But like, she's super garbage when Luma dies. And Luma's hard to protect even with the shield buff to Rosa. And it's the fact that Rosa's also very lightweight, so she dies very early. And while her recovery is decent, there's no hitbox on it, so it can be exploited for sure. And you have this character that just absurd in neutral, absurd in advantage state, then has trouble putting up damage and killing. So kind of the same issue as the characters like the Pits and Toon Link down here, but just on a much better kit with some really good jank, like Nair into like down air or forward smash, and some just hard read, I will kill you type moves. And then Inkling is just a character that's fallen off throughout Ultimate's history, right? People thought this character was great, and then the character has trouble killing, and then the character relies a bit too much on just back air neutral and doesn't have enough mix-ups, and the movement is very nice, but it's not enough, and you have so many characters zoning the character out and throwing sword hitboxes, and yeah, Inkling's okay. Like, she's solid, she might still be high tier, but people dropped her for a reason. And when I look at like the characters above her, who have like more cheese, I'm just like, why would you play Inkling over like a lot of other stuff? I don't know. So with that said, that is my upper mid tier, and the high tiers can be split into 2 videos because there's so many characters. So see you for that one. And the high tiers make it to the characters that this is where the real BS starts coming out in this game, I'd say, which is a lot of the cast, to be honest. Ultimate's a very well balanced game.